we will discuss the quantum of compensation to be awarded to the victims of accidents by the MACT courts. As we have discussed earlier in other clippings that the amount of compensation has to be awarded by the learned tribunals. The cases which are generally filed before the learned tribunals are to be categorized in three categories. Number one, injury cases. Number second, death cases. And number three, damage cases relating to properties. As far as the injury cases are concerned, we can still divide these cases into three categories. Number one, simple injury cases. Number second, grievous cases wherein there is no permanent disablement. And number three, the grievous cases wherein the permanent disablement is also there. As far as the simple injury cases are concerned, we can visualize the type of injury from the reading of MLC prepared by the doctors. The injury cases wherein the victim sustained only simple injuries are generally awarded very meager amount of compensation because he has not sustained much injury. There is no financial loss, there is no medical bills generally in those cases. Therefore, in those cases wherein the injuries are very simple, the income loss or other factors are not applicable, the general amount of compensation awarded by the honorable tribunals relates to 10 to 15,000. As far as the grievous cases are concerned, wherein the victim of the accident has not suffered from any permanent disablement, the amount of compensation awarded by the honorable tribunals include the medical expenses, special diet and conveyance, mental pain and suffering, etc. The victim of the accident has to prove before the honorable tribunal that he has sustained grievous type of injuries which can be decided on the basis of MLC prepared by the doctors. Secondly, the victim of the accident in such type of cases has to prove the medical expenses, the income loss when he remained on bedridden and after the discharge from the hospital. On the basis of these factors, the learned tribunals generally decide the cases of grievous nature. I am not saying that these are the only heads. There may be other heads of the amount of compensation, but this depends upon the facts and circumstances of the case and as far as the other factors which are relevant for the consideration by the honorable tribunals. The third type of cases are those cases wherein the grievous injury is there and side by side the person, the victim of the accident has sustained permanent disablement also. Besides the other amount of compensation, just like the mental pain and suffering, conveyance and special diet, the victim of the accident is entitled to get the amount of compensation for permanent disablement also. For this purpose, we have to make the distinction between the certificate issued by the doctors of medical hospital and the functional disability. When the person or the victim says that due to the accident injury I have become permanent disabled, then he has to prove the said fact by producing the medical certificate by the medical board. In government hospitals, medical boards are established. They examine the victim of the accident and after due examination they give the permanent disablement certificate. At the time of examination of the victim of the accident, the doctors of the board, they are not required to know the vocation of the victim of the accident. They have to just examine the physical condition of the patient or the victim of the accident, and on the basis of that physical examination they generally issue the permanent disablement certificate. But as far as the quantum of compensation to those victims are concerned, the duty of the tribunal is to assess the actual loss sustained by permanent disablement. The learned tribunal has to see the impact of the permanent disablement on the income of the victim of the accident. For this purpose, the medical certificate plus the honorable tribunal has to assess the impact of the permanent disablement on the earning capacity of the injured. The tribunal first of all has to assess the functional disability of the injured so that the multiplicand can be used for the purpose of multiplier. In such type of cases wherein the victim of the accident sustained permanent disablement, which is to continue throughout his life and is going to affect his earning capacity, the learned tribunal has to take into consideration the vocation or the working of the injured, and on the basis of that he has to come to the conclusion what is the actual earning capacity loss due to permanent disablement. This can be given by an example. For example, suppose a person is working as a computer operator and due to accidental injuries he has lost 4 fingers and a thumb of his right hand. Now the doctors gives the certificate that he has sustained 40% permanent disablement. But as far as the working of the injured is concerned, it is 100% qua his computer operator, because when he has lost 4 fingers and a thumb, now he is not in a position to continue his vocation as computer operator anymore. Therefore, in such type of cases, the honorable tribunal may reach to the conclusion that qua the computer work, the permanent disablement is 100%. There are judgments of the honorable higher courts wherein it is held by the higher courts that although the person cannot do the same work which he was working prior to the accidental injury, but he can do other work also. That has to be taken into consideration. Similarly, suppose the person who has sustained permanent disablement and suppose one of his leg has been amputated due to the accidental injuries, but there is no effect on his earning capacity, he is getting the same amount of salary from the government department or from the private department, then although the permanent disability is there, but he is not getting any loss due of his salary because of permanent disablement. In those cases also the amount of compensation has to be avoided, but not as in those cases wherein the permanent disability is making sufficient loss to the victim of the accident. This aspect has to be considered by the honorable tribunals at the time of grant of compensation. In those cases wherein the permanent disablement is there and loss consequent to the permanent disability is there, the judgment of Rajkumar versus Ajay Kumar given by the Honorable Supreme Court is very relevant. It says when the multiplier is applied for the grant of compensation towards permanent disablement, then the non-pecuniary amount of compensation has to be on the minimum side, because in case we are giving the same amount of compensation towards non-pecuniary amount of compensation also, then it will be double compensation. It means, it shows that the assessment of compensation in those cases wherein the victim sustained simple injuries or the victim sustained grievous injuries but he has not suffered from any disablement, and the persons wherein he has suffered permanent disablement also can be categorized as 3 injury type of cases wherein the different amount of compensation can be avoided by the honorable tribunal considering the loss suffered by them in respect of their injuries. Now we can take the other aspect of the case, that is the second category cases wherein the person who sustained injuries has expired in the accident. These are called death cases or fatal cases. In those cases wherein the victim of the accident has expired, we can still make some categorization for the purpose of understanding. There are cases wherein the minor sustained injuries and he had expired in the accident. The judgments are given by the honorable tribunal, by the honorable higher courts, wherein it is decided that 3.75 lakhs is the reasonable amount of compensation of the parents of the deceased, because at that age of the victim of the accident there is no dependency towards the parents, and the ascertainment of future of the deceased is not possible. The second category of cases are those wherein the bachelor has expired. In those cases, the amount of compensation has to be awarded by the tribunals on the basis of the earning of the deceased. The bachelor cases are generally filed by the parents of the deceased to get the amount of compensation. Our apex court in the case of Sarla Verma case defines that in case of bachelor, only the mother is entitled to get the amount of compensation and father is not entitled to get the amount of compensation. In those cases wherein the bachelor has expired, the multiplier has to be applied considering the age of the mother, and when the amount of compensation is to be awarded in favor of the mother, then half of the income of the deceased has to be deducted towards self expenses of the deceased. Now, the third type of cases are those wherein the person who has expired was married at the time of his death. Now, in those type of cases, there may be dependents which are the wife of the deceased, parents of the deceased, or the children of the deceased. We have to assess the amount of compensation on the basis of the earning capacity of the deceased, and we have to consider the deduction towards self expenses on the basis of the members of family left by the deceased. The Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Sarla Verma has described the system of multiplier, and he has given a table on the basis of age of the victim of the concern. And when we are going to apply the table, it says that in case of the person who has expired in the accident, if the age is between 15 to 25 years, then 18 multiplier has to be applied. In case the age of the victim is 26 to 30 years, then 17 multiplier has to be applied. In case the age of the victim is 31 to 35 years, 16 multiplier has to be applied. In case the age of the victim is 36 to 40 years, then 15 multiplier has to be applied. In case the age of the victim is 41 to 45 years, then multiplier of 14 is to be applied. In case the age of the victim is 46 to 50 years, 13 multiplier has to be applied. In case the age of the victim is 51 to 55 years, 11 multiplier has to be applied. In case the age of the victim is 56 to 60 years, 9 multiplier has to be applied. In case the age of the victim is 61 to 65 years, 7 multiplier has to be applied. And in case the 66 to 70 years of the age of the victim is there, then the multiplier has to be applied 5. This shows that the Honorable Supreme Court, by way of pronouncing the judgment, wants that there should be equality of the grant of compensation to the victims of the accidents. Now, as far as the second aspect is concerned, the deduction towards self-expenses of the amount to be deducted by the Honorable Tribunal at the time of grant of compensation, the Honorable Supreme Court says, in case the person is married and there are 2 to 3 dependents, then the deduction is 1/3. If the dependents are 4 to 6, then the deduction is 1/4, and in case the dependents are more than 6, then the deduction is 1/5. Therefore, by utilizing this table, the Honorable Supreme Court wants that the amount of compensation to be paid to the victims of accidents must be equal in equal ratio. The other aspect of the cases are concerned which relates to the persons who have expired in the accident are relating to the women. In those cases, generally it is found that the amount of compensation has to be determined on the basis of the gratuitous services given by the woman to the family members. There are different judgments of the Supreme Court which assess the amount of compensation considering their gratuitous services to the family. In case when the income of the deceased is not proved and there is no proof of the income of the deceased, then in those cases our court says that minimum wage charge has to be applied at the relevant time of the accident. Therefore, there are two further categories can be made. One in those cases wherein there is no proof of income, and second type of those cases wherein the income proof is there. When the income proof is there, the Honorable Supreme Court says that the amount of income tax has to be deducted because that amount is not available to the family of the victim at the time of award of the compensation, because this amount has already to be deducted by the department at the time of disbursement of salary. The family members are not to get the benefit of income tax because this has to be applied to the government department. Now, the other aspect, the damages are concerned. The damages are awarded by the Honorable Tribunals itself. We need not to go to the civil court for the purpose of assessment of the compensation towards damages of the properties. The damages are to be assessed in respect of the vehicles, in respect of movable properties, and in respect of immovable property. The petitioner has to prove that the amount spent by him towards the damages. In case he is able to prove the same, then the Honorable Tribunal is fully competent to award damages in case of the motor vehicles involvement is concerned. Therefore, we can say that on the basis of these categorization, we can get the actual and reasonable amount of compensation from the Honorable Tribunals. Further, I would like to say that I have prepared one MACD chart. You may kindly go through that chart also, and in the chart I have analyzed all these aspects, and very systematically I have given the categorization of the cases and in what manner you can get the amount of compensation. In both type of cases, that is injury as well as death cases, the compensation is awarded by the Honorable Tribunals under two heads. Number one, pecuniary compensation, and number two, non-pecuniary amount of compensation. As far as the pecuniary amount of compensation is concerned, the same is awarded on the basis of the documents filed by the petitioner to claim the amount of compensation. And the other aspect, that is non-pecuniary amount of compensation, the injured are given non-pecuniary amount of compensation towards mental pain and suffering, disfigurement, etc., etc. Whereas in death cases, the non-pecuniary amount of compensation is given towards loss of love and affection, funeral expenses, loss to estate, etc. In case of the death of the woman or the husband, the amount of consortium is also given towards non-pecuniary amount of compensation. These are generally divided into two heads, pecuniary and non-pecuniary amount of compensation from the Honorable Tribunal. are concerned,